Hi everyone, can you hear me?
Yes, correct.
Let's take a minute and get settled. So meanwhile, write hello, so I know you are here. Hi Manvi.
Hi, Dipanshu.
All right, let's begin. So first of all, welcome. Thank you for showing up. This is one of the calls that was in my head for some time. It's been a while since I was concerned and thinking about a call. It's been a while. But I genuinely was thinking for this for I don't know, since I announced it or since it was in my head that I'm gonna do this. So a few days. It's been some time since I had an event like this where I kept on thinking for a few days before it happened. So I wanted to say this out loud that this is important and we are here to create something for ourselves first. So if I were to coach you today, what would you want to create in this session? Type it in the chat box. If I were to coach you today, what would you want to achieve? Now, here are 4 invitations before we begin the journey. I'll not be coaching everyone. Okay. You'll not have one-on-one time with me, but create your insights. Listen for yourself as if I'm coaching you. You are responsible for your results. All right. Second invitation, the person who I'm going to coach on the call, please don't go back and coach them. Please don't do that. It takes lots of courage and vulnerability to show up and come up on stage. So send them love, but don't try coaching or helping them after the session. Number 3, choose compassion over judgment and insight over agreement. So compassion over judgment would mean, oh, okay, this person is like this, they do this, they don't do this. That's judgment. Compassion is going with curiosity. Why are they doing this or not that? What would make them do this instead? Okay, this is listening for them. Listening for yourself would mean, I think I have done that in the past. Why did I do that? Or what changed in me? Choosing insight over agreement would mean, oh, by the way, you don't have to direct message. This is a very safe space. That's why I did this in a cozy environment. So please share it in the group. This is a group for shared vulnerability. So insight over agreement would mean I said something and you liked it or maybe did not like it. Okay. Uh, it's not gonna serve you if you listen for agreement or disagreement. Like, I want to see this idea. I really like this idea. I didn't like this idea. Whatever happens in this call, pick it up and maybe think about it, even if you like it or dislike it. Okay. See what you can get from that conversation. And fourth one, unless you are in a car or something, like unless you're driving or something, please put your cameras on. I want you to be more committed and engaging in this conversation. So who's ready for today? Are you guys with me? Say ready in the chat box so I know you're here. And let's begin. By the way, I want everybody to type in what do you want to create here, because if you don't, this session is going to be useless for you. There's enough information in the world. I have created enough information for to last a year for you. So this session shouldn't be an information based session. Before we move forward, I want to see that statement from you. What do you want to create? If I were coaching you in this session, what would you want to create for yourself? When you type this, there is some stories that I haven't told about my relationship yet, because obviously it was not public, and I wanted to wait. I to anyone who doesn't know, I got engaged this Valentine's, and I want to share how I created that relationship. There are two parts of it, and how she created this relationship. All right. So I took a break from dating in September 2019 to February 2021. So 1.5 years. Exactly around this time last year, I had a conversation with my coach, and she invited me for a conversation around dating. And I was like, you know what? I don't think I want to discuss that. It's just that I'm really focused on my coaching business. I'm really there to serve people. I don't know if I want to have a conversation about love or dating yet. The real reason behind that was I was hiding because of all the painful relationships I have had in the past. I was escaping. I was convincing myself that, you know what, I don't need anyone. I'm really okay being myself, which was true partially, but it wasn't because I was in a happy place. It wasn't coming from a place of love. It was coming from a place of past fears. Anyhow, it made me think. It made me realize that, you know what, this is not a love decision. This is a fear decision. And March start, I started thinking about dating, and I made a list of things I would want in my partner. And I was really clear this time, because I've had, painful relationships in the past. So I knew I wanted someone who's geographically close. I don't want a long distance relationship. I wanted someone who have the same value. I wanted someone who is spiritual, who cares, who has done some work on herself. um I wanted someone who is mature. No, I didn't want to fall in love. I wanted to actually live and care for each other in love, right? So by this time last year, I was actually having a podcast where I would invite coaches and other mentors and, industry experts, and I started talking about it. This was my way of manifesting. This has been my way of creating something in life, to talk about it more. So I would talk with my guests that I'm thinking of this person, and I want to be in a relationship with these qualities. I, I started working with my current coach in May last year, May month. And one of the goals I wrote with him in my goal setting session was, in the next 12 months, I want to be in a full time, like in a relationship, uh, in a committed relationship with these characteristics. And I started dating Shekha in June. My 12-month goals came true in 1 month. If I gave you this, blank sheet, and it's a magical blank sheet, whatever you write on it will come true in the next 1 2 3 years, what will you write on it? What will you write on this magical sheet? Type it in the chat box. I would want to see. If you had a magical paper, there's this cartoon, not cartoon, but like a TV series we had, Shakalaka Boom Boom, when we were growing up, late 90s kids. And he would draw anything on it. And, it was a magical pencil. He would draw anything with that pencil and it will come true. So imagine you have that paper. It's a magical paper. What will you write on it? The more specific you are with what you're writing, the better chances of it becoming true. So if you say sitting on a beach and having powerful conversation with people, what does that mean? You can do it right now. But what does that actually mean? What's the bigger ask you're having? I will write my dream job to make it happen. What's your dream job? Is it a specific job role? Is it a specific company? I want to have a successful coaching business. What do you mean by successful coaching business? Some people consider 6 figure a month successful. I feel I'm really struggling when I'm making 6 figures. So, what does successful coaching business mean to you? The more specific you are, the better chances it has to come true. I'm earning 3 lakh a month from my successful business in 24 months and spending 50% of my time to spiritual activity. 50% of your whole day or 50% of your business time? And what if it happens sooner than 24 months? What if it's supposed to be easier? What if it's not supposed to take as long as you think it will take? All right, coming back. So give me a minute. Varun, you are yet to share. What would you want to create in this session? If I were to coach you, what would you want to create? Meanwhile, Rianshi, I'm putting you on spotlight. Let's talk. How are you doing?
Hi, can you hear me?
Yes.
I'm doing good, and I'm really, really happy to see like this little community. Makes me feel much more relieved than I felt the last time we had our session.
Yes. So, what did you write? I want to create more confidence in my own future plans. Talk to me more about this.
So, I suffer with like sort of a low confidence when it comes to even admitting that this is what I want. There is this instant fear that when can you really achieve that? I mean, it seems so big. It seems like it's going to take so many years to do that. I don't want to feel that. I want to feel more confident about the fact that okay, I can do this and I'm working towards it. I want to have that energy.
First observation, for the very first time, I've talked to more than, I think, 2000 people. For the first time, I'm hearing this, that I'm suffering from low confidence. I never heard that word used with confidence.
Okay.
Just an observation.
Yeah, good.
Yes. So, just a moment. When you think about it, let me see what I can do for Manvi. Manvi, I'm putting you on spotlight.
Hi, Dipanshu.
Hello. What do you want to create today?
I want to find that courage to get out of my comfort zone so that I can work on my business. So there are a lot of things that are restricting me to, work on myself, which will eventually translate into my business ka success. So I want to get out of that comfort zone.
Amazing. Here's an observation and something I haven't shared with you. I can talk about it now because both of you are in the same groups. When I say groups, I mean the this group plus the P2P, right?
Hmm.
Both of you joined me almost at the same time around January, and both of you have kind of same demographics and the kind of same psychographics. You are about the same age. You are about, really afraid and scared of, I want to start a coaching business, but I don't know how. I need confidence. I need courage. At one point, I'll be really honest. I miss what's the right word to use here? I it happened in one of the sessions. I don't even remember if it was in Manvi's or Rianshi's session. Both of you are working with me one on one. In one of the sessions, I actually, you know, put one's story into the other just because I misremembered. It was like first or second session. It has happened. Like I misunderstood. So I'm saying this out loud to see how much overlap it is in the mindset and current positions you have. Are you going to be the same after 5 years? Possibly not. But right now, your struggles are quite overlapping. And it's just one coincidence that both of you are on spotlight right now. I didn't plan for it. Okay. I have an interesting activity in mind, but let me see if there is someone else who can help us. So, Varun, what would you want to create today? Did you share? Meanwhile,
Um,
yes, go on, Varun.
Sorry, I joined late. I'll be sharing in a while. I've just joined a few minutes back, so I'm just pacing up with the current discussion.
Okay, sure. So, talk to me about this courage, Manvi.
Mm-hmm. It's it has a lot to do with the expectations of my family of from me. My whole life I've dreamt of an MBA. My dad was talking about it even today. For him, he just cannot. I don't know how to say it. For him to understand that there can be something that there can be a profession just as rewarding as an MBA, but
Mhm.
something apart from the mainstream. To be okay with that is going to be difficult for him. And in India, coaching is not very established. Someone calls me a therapist, someone says you're a mental health
Yeah.
consultant. I'm like, no, I'm a life coach. So for them to respect my profession and to validate, and I'm not really looking for validation, but I they don't take me seriously. They think that I'm just like a therapist. And
Okay.
yeah, like they question my choices, and I have to justify to everyone that no, this is not who I am, this is what I'm doing. So I don't want them to treat me like a pushover or someone. I don't want them to not respect me or not take my opinions seriously. So I'm a little afraid of that.
So, one question for you before I move forward to Rianch, and you don't have to answer that yet, but give it some thought. How did this I need courage suddenly became I'm really afraid of what others tell me or talk about me?
I didn't get it.
So, how did this conversation around I need courage suddenly turn into that I'm afraid of others' judgment or opinions or respect about me? What's the real issue? Give it some thought. Meanwhile, okay, somebody entered and they need to mute themselves, I think. Lavina. Hi, Lavina. Okay, so yes, Rianshi. So
Hello.
yes, I had this conversation with Manvi, I think yesterday only, that the kind of language we use is the underlying foundation of the world we create. I'm
That's true.
suffering from low confidence. For me, it sounds like it's self judgment.
Kinda, I think.
So, what's the medicine for it if it's a disease? Is it a disease?
I don't believe it's a disease. To me, an antidote to low self confidence has always been, me taking some action. Because, when I take action, I have this sense of satisfaction that, okay, I am doing something. There is really no need to feel small or feel like I don't know where I'm going, stuff like that. So I've noticed that a lot in my own behavior and patterns that, like, I told you that I joined a gym like just a week back. So, you know, even though like it is to achieve fitness, more of it is to do with my confidence. When I go instead, it makes me feel good that okay, I'm working towards something that I want, to
Let
gain.
let me pause you there.
Hmm.
I believe we covered this in the first session together. Let me change a few words in your vocabulary and tell me if it still holds true for you.
Hmm.
I need to do something to feel worthy.
Yeah, that.
Like my worthiness is attached to me doing something. That means if for God forbid, but for 1 week I am on wheelchair, I need support. I got an accident, and even if it's a minor accident, but I cannot work, that means I'm worthless.
I mean, I don't know where it came from. Okay. I don't know when it entered, but it's there. I know that I recognize it. I've tried to, remove it, but sadly, it's still there. Like, there is a sense of guilt if I'm not doing something, or if, there is this connection between, working all the time and like feeling good, so there is this thing that if I, let's say, I'm enjoying my time a little bit, not working at that time, my mind is constantly going there, I have to do this, I have to do that, why couldn't I do this sooner? There's a lot of guilt.
I understand that. I've been there. I struggled with that. Let's pause you for a bit. Mm, Lavina and Mitali, you guys joined late. Type it in the chat box. What would you want to create for yourself in this session? And meanwhile, Varun, I'm gonna put you on spotlight.
Yeah, hi Dipanshu.
Let me see. Can we have 4 spotlights or what's the thing? Oh, I can have, I think, only 3 at a time. Let's invite you in a bit, Varun. Give me some time.
Sure.
Manvi.
Yeah, Dipanshu. So, the reason why I said that, the reason why the conversation shifted from I want courage to, I am afraid of is because I want courage to, break through those, or to free myself from the expectations of my parents, or especially the paths that they have decided for me. And of course, I want to free myself from people's judgment, because the environment, so I'm a software engineer and everybody around me is always talking about package, company, fang mein jana hai, this kind of package to be successful. So uh, so just to choose an unconventional path from,
Yeah.
uh, it's scary, and it's scary because I fear that I will not be respected or accepted as much as
Hmm.
my other friends would be in the society, especially in the friend circle that I deal with.
So anyone who has been in the position, uh, you can raise your hands or type it in the chat box, who have been in a place where they were trying to do something, but it was so scary just because how do I fit in if I do this? I'll really stand out if I did this. Who has been in that place? Amazing. So the what I'm not getting the word. Um, the evolutionary science behind this is you're always supposed to be living in groups, in tribes. Uh, Living alone would mean death. So our evolutionary brain, our tribal brain is so much programmed to fit in, to fit in the society, the little circles we have. So before we try and change it, it's important for us to be non-judgmental about it. It's plain science, it's biology. All of us are trying to fit in some or the other groups. I'm trying to fit in like 7-figure coaches. Some people are trying to fit in, the coaching groups. Some people are trying to fit in the gym groups. Everybody is trying to fit in. Mark Manson wrote about it that it's I, I don't think it can ever be that you don't care about people's opinion. You need to care about better people's opinions. I don't think people pleasing ever stops, but you can be mindful about who you are trying to please. How does that sound to you, whatever I talked in the last 2 minutes, Manvi?
It's a different perspective, and it makes sense to some extent, but I was wondering, who are these important people whose opinion I need to, whose opinion I need to agree upon, or like be affected by.
That's a very good question to ask yourself.
Yeah, no one is coming to my mind, surprisingly.
Sometimes the questions will take days to get answered.
I'll think about it.
Another question that comes to your mind is, do I really need to care about the people's opinion, or would I rather focus my energy someplace else? Can I focus my energy someplace else?
Yeah, I can focus it on myself, becoming a better version of myself every day, learning more about myself, being more self aware. so I can help my clients achieve the same. So
Courage is not a prerequisite. Courage is a result. Let me take a moment. It's confidence, not courage. Okay. So maybe you don't even need courage if you shift your focus. If you're thinking about yourself, your own opinion of yourself, maybe you don't need courage to face yourself. One point. Second point, it's a very common thing, and I'm generalizing, among new coaches to feel underconfident or less courageous while talking to others. Because right now, you are not even sure of the results you're creating. You haven't seen the transformations in your clients yet. You haven't seen your clients coming back to you after 1 year saying thanks. Thank you so much for doing what you're doing. Thank you so much for being who you are. You haven't had those clients yet. So the kind of energy you bring to the conversation is going to reflect on others. If you're not really sure and confident and clear about what you are doing, who you are being, they will also feel the same. So if talking this to others, if somebody else was here in place of Manvi, I would have suggested some ways of finding the courage. But because I work with Manvi, because I know the history she has, um, this is what she needed, that acknowledgement of feeling okay, so she doesn't judge herself. All right, some time to think about this. And okay, is it okay if I call Varun now instead of you, Manvi?
sure.
All right, thank you so much for jumping on here. Rianshi, where are you right now? What's happening in your brain?
Nothing. I was just thinking.
What's coming up?
I mean, the things you were saying, like to Manvi, I was just like thinking, reflecting on my own thoughts as to, how sometimes like problems can be so similar, even though you come from like very different backgrounds, very different stories.
What
Sometimes
stood
it's
out?
just,
What stood out for you?
I think the fact that you told her to not judge herself. And such a strange thing happened actually yesterday. A friend called me and I told him about this thing. That, okay, I've quit my job and I'm pursuing this and makes me really happy. And in the starting, I thought people are going to make fun of me. Like, what is it that I'm doing?
Yeah.
He was so supportive. He was so encouraging. He was so happy that, okay, I'm doing something that makes me happy and I'm not miserable anymore. That makes me sometimes think that I just assume the worst, just judge myself before, even seeing as to um, that people are wonderful. So just I was thinking about why.
Okay. What do you think about thinking the worst for yourself? Like, you have a habit. Is that so?
Yeah, like my first question before initiating anything is that, okay, what is the worst that could happen? And if that happens, what am I going to do? Like having sort of like a life jacket situation.
That could be a positive thing. What do you think? Is it a positive thing or a negative thing?
Sometimes it's positive, it makes me feel safe, but sometimes it also stops me to like push my comfort zone or like push my horizons, which I know is possible. But sometimes it just stops you that, what if it's and fail anyway going to fail, why push yourself so much? So there's this, it sometimes happens.
Okay. what do you need in this moment to have faith in yourself? And I read this today. uh, I'm gonna move to Varun before you answer. Okay, so you take some time to answer this. I read this today and I was thinking, why am I reading this? For whom I am reading this? And my some friend posted, faith is the antidote to fear. And I was just thinking, like, who do I need to tell this today? Who am I reading this for? And I know the answer now. So maybe think about this. What do I need in this moment to have faith? Abundance of faith, unshattering faith in myself. Hi, Varun.
Yeah, hi Dipanshu.
So, what are we creating today? Why are you here?
I think like I want to create consistency in handling emotions. Yes, just elaborating a bit.
Yes.
Emotions are now I'm aware of what like how I am feeling now. Like if I'm angry or if something is not working out, I'm feeling pissed off or something like that. I am knowing it previously. Like I'm acknowledging the fact that my body is feeling like this way.
Mhm.
Yeah, this is a transition that I'm happening, that I'm acknowledging everything now. But like how to handle these things, I tried like your manifestor it on the first session you told na,
Yeah.
like for example, uh, this is wedding season going on, I'm not able to do exercise or gym, and I'm just so I'm not feeling this is some feeling, not good feeling. So as you told, I tried that, like I choose to be happy with whatever is happening. I will achieve whatever, like after a few days I choose to be happy in this moment. But still I was not able to successfully do that. So handling like consistency in handling emotions. So that's where I know I'm feeling this way, but how to handle it.
So you know how to handle it. You're asking me how do I become consistent in handling it? Is that so?
Yeah, like as I told you, like at the start I know how to I know how like I was not able to do exercises, so like at brief period I was able to handle my emotions. Okay, it's totally fine. My like job, everything is going by like side by side, so it's totally fine. But still at some point, like mind start getting cracky, like it's 3 days and I'm just checking the weighing machine and again and again. It's so I
Okay.
was not able to handle it like after maybe 3 4 days, and maybe I was getting in like just at the corner, I just want to be alone again. And that, like previously I used to do that, like I just want me time now. Don't want, because I don't want to affect anyone else near me when I'm feeling a little bit low, because I always want to enlighten everyone surrounding me, my family members and all of that. So that happened today, like from morning till evening. So that's where I want to create consistency in handling emotions.
Let's play a little activity and we'll see if you get the answer through this activity or we'll explore. You heard Rianshi and Manvi talking, right?
Yes.
If you were to give an advice, a suggestion, a one line short statement to Rianshi, and be really bold and loving in what you say, what would you tell her?
Hmm. So yeah, sorry. Uh, I want to say that Ryanshi, I think you, uh, like from whatever I have listened, uh, I think you're able to express everything about yourself, and I think you are loving yourself, and you just want to be first validator of yourself, like from whatever like Dipanshu I have received from Dipanshu, I just want to say that just validation is something your soul can give to you. Like, just consider this second person sitting, this second Rianshi sitting alongside you, and just say that you can do this. I have given you the validation. Bhaad mein jaye baki log. So you yourself should be your first validator, and I think most of the times I have implemented it, and the results were so great. And
So let's try to keep it in one sentence. Thank you so much for that. Rianshi, you're loving yourself, and your be the first validation for self. Okay. What would you tell Manvi?
uh, I would say different, like everyone goes through different experiences.
Be daring. Be daring. Be courageous. Say what's coming to you.
I would say love yourself more. I think like experiences happen. There are many ups and downs, but once you loving yourself more, courage, positivity, everything else will come side by side.
Okay. So love yourself more and everything else will come later. Your turn, Rianshi. Let's try to keep it one sentence. Okay. Rianshi, if you were to say something to Varun, some suggestion, advice, feel free to advise. What would you say?
So I noticed that you said that you like to be by yourself when you're feeling low. I would just say that the more you express your pain, your sorrow, the more you will find people that you have things in common with, and the lighter you're going to feel. Like, it's easier to feel that when you have people around instead of dealing with it alone.
What would you say to Manvi? Try not to
From what
explain.
I've heard.
Try not to explain why
Yeah, okay.
you guys are so afraid of giving us an advice or suggestion. Why are you so
Sorry?
afraid? Why are you people afraid of giving advice or suggestion? Give it like this: don't smoke. That's an advice.
Okay.
Right? Go to gym. That's an advice. So make it crisp. Don't explain.
Cool.
We know that it's
Mani,
coming. We
your
know.
parents.
Let me just.
Yes.
We know it's coming from a place of love, right? So say that, Manvi.
Mani, your parents' expectations is not your responsibility.
Good. I'm just taking a note. So I'm writing in a very bad handwriting. Manvi, your turn. What would you say to Varun?
Actually, I'm sorry, I could not hear Varun's story because of bad network. So I couldn't follow through.
Okay. Could you hear some parts of it?
I just heard that he wants to be consistent in handling his emotions.
So
Just
what would
that
you
part.
say to him around that?
Okay. I'm not sure. I would.
Why are you so afraid of advising?
No, I'm not afraid. I just don't know the background. story
It's
what he
totally
said.
okay. You don't have to. It can be a generalized advice.
Okay, so try journaling. I've started it. It's helping me. It'll help you.
Try journaling, it helps. What about Rianshi? What would you tell Rianshi?
For Rianchi, the more self-aware you are, the more confident you'll feel. Once you are extremely self-aware, people's opinions or um, their judgment won't matter to you. This is coming from experience because I've been in a place where you are right now, and I'm also on the other side. So I know myself, and now it doesn't matter to me what people say to me, except my parents.
So here's the thing. Okay, so Varun said, Manvi, love yourself more and everything else will come later. It's really hard to read the kind of handwriting I used. Varun also said, Rianshi, you're loving yourself and be the first validator of self. Rianshi said, Varun, the more you express your pain, the lighter you will feel. Rianshi said, Manvi, your parents' expectations are not your responsibility. Manvi said, Varun, try journaling, it helps. Manvi said, Rianshi, more self aware you are, the more confident you become, and uh, the judgment from others will matter less and less. Now, if we change the words, the names here, Rianshi, the more you express your pain, the lighter you will feel. Rianshi, your parents' expectations are not your responsibility. Varun, love yourself more and everything else will come later. Varun, you are loving yourself and you need to be your first validator. Manvi, try journaling, it helps. Manvi, the more self aware you are, the more confident you become, and the judgment of others, the fear of judgment will matter less and less and less. Do you feel your own advice landed on you? The advice, the suggestions we give to others is usually a mirror for what we need in life in that moment. Varun could have said any hundred number of things to Rianshi, but what he used was you love yourself more and everything else will fall place because he needed to hear that internally. Does that support you in the goal of creating what you wanted to create today?
Yes, I'm getting a different perspective now. Just hearing from you, like you said. Yeah.
I hope. By the way, Rianshi, how did it land to you?
So the fact that you said that usually the advices that we do give we need it the most, that is very true. And now when I hear it myself, you know, I get it. Sometimes I think I don't follow the advices I give to people myself.
Talk to me about these two advices. The more you express your pain, are you currently expressing your pain? The second,
Um,
the yeah, go on.
I I try to. I mean, as much as I can.
But you see something is coming from inside that you need to show up more.
Yes, I do.
Amazing. Thank you so much, Varun and Riyanshu, for showing up. Type it in the chat box. What was your insight today? What was your insight today? When you would write this insight in the chat box, remember the blank magic paper exercise. It can be any paper, but it's more of the practice of writing, what you are willing to embrace, what you're willing to learn and practice and exercise. So when you share your insight, it registers in your brain. My parents' expectations are not my responsibility, and the more self-aware I am, the less will people's opinion matter to me. I realized I already do know what's blocking my abundance. I just had to see it in someone else too. So it tells me that it's not unsolvable, that my problems are not too big. Insight. One's advice and mirror to own self. Applying your suggestion, my advice to myself would be not to overthink. And the only person I need to listen to is myself. Amazing. What were your insights, Lavina, Rahul, Simran, Mitali? Whenever I want to give advice, I need to make it short and invariably that will be applicable to me and I will benefit me the most from implementation. Amazing. Now, the second half of the story I wanted to share. So I told you how I manifested this relationship. It's not as creative or colorful as how she did it. So we were friends for a couple of years before this, before we started dating, and we were close as friends. And I remember she called me up on her birthday last year, around 5th January last year, and um, maybe a few days after her birthday, and she was uh, really frustrated, crying because her close friends, had a fight with her, and she was having trouble in her then relationship. And I could see her frustration, like she was done with all this, nonsense. 1 month after that call, last year, February, she did a very beautiful diagram on her journal. She wrote my partner in the middle, and she did I don't know what it's called, like a bubble diagram or a flow chart. And she wrote all the characteristics she wanted in her partner. She wanted her partner to be, what was it? So having values, spiritual, um, own car, ABCDEFGs, whatever she wrote. Okay. And by the time we met with an intention of dating each other, by the time we were in a place, by the time we had conversation of dating each other, I matched 100% of her list. And it would be surprising for you to know, one of the things she mentioned in her, that beautiful diagram was, she wanted to be with someone who does chanting. So she comes from a background of ISKCON, so she's quite into Krishna consciousness and doing chanting meditation. And although I've been meditating for quite a long time, chanting was not my kind of meditation. My kind of meditation is Zen. But guess what? I started practicing Nichiren Buddhism in May month, 1 month before I met her. And in Nichiren Buddhism, it's a practice of chanting. So when you're really clear about what you want, universe will prepare the other person to be with you. When you're really clear about what you want, universe will prepare that job role for you, that business requirement, those clients for you. And I was really amazed to see that I never chanted before, but just because she manifested it, I was being prepared to be someone whom she would be wanting to be with. Right? So this is the power of being really clear about what you want. The universe will prepare that person, that job, that client you're looking for. But what are you really looking for? Is it coming from a place of love? Or is it coming from a place of fear, desperation, insecurities? Are you detached with the results? Are you mindfully, consciously creating it? Or are you sitting back and just letting whatever is happening is happening? Or are you taking responsibility to create what you want to have in your life? So I hope this was a very, very insightful and resourceful session for you. Those of you who came from outside, who are not a part of this group, I would want to share the link of the group. So if you want to check out the details, you can check out. Okay. And this is what I do in my one-on-one coaching. You saw me coaching Rianshi, Varun, and Manvi one at a time. Right. So if you want to work with me one-on-one, there will be a link in the description to fill a Google form, and let's see if we can work together. Simran, are you there? Can you share the links?
Yes, I'm sharing.
Thank you so much. So the group is specifically for those people who are coaches or who are looking to start their coaching business. The one-on-one coaching can be a life coaching part as well. So thank you so much, Simran, for sharing the link. Any last questions you have? We have a few minutes. You can type it in the chat box. I'm glad, Rahul.
Hi. Can I say something?
Sure, Mitali.
I'm sorry, my chat button is not working today. It's not letting me type anything.
Okay.
Okay. Yeah, so I'll just say whatever I heard and whatever I yeah. So whatever I heard from the conversations, it was really nice because I think I've faced all those things as well. And I think the biggest insight that I got from the whole idea was that we just need to hear ourselves once and believe in ourselves what our thoughts are. If we can tell other people what to do and how to do it, then thoda bahut if we implement the same thing on ourselves, it can really help. We just need to believe that whatever we think is also right can be right.
Yes, exactly. Thank you so much for sharing that. And okay, so Rianshi asked, did you have doubts while manifesting? So because I took a break of 1.5 years from dating, I was really okay not dating for a very long time. I was not attached to dating. I wanted this, but I was totally okay if I didn't get it. I was totally okay without getting it like in the next 3 months. I was totally okay with that. I was okay living by myself. Right. So when you attach yourself to the outcome, when you create a short deadline, that creates desperation, that creates problems. So one rule of manifestation is you become really clear with it, and maybe universe needs some time to prepare that thing for you, and then it will test you. I met so many people who matched like 60%, 70%, 80% of the profile I was looking for, and I said no to each of those people because I was like, you know what, either I'm gonna get the 100% person with this profile, or I'm not dating. I'm totally okay living the way I'm living. That was the same with her. She was really clear with her diagram. I want these characteristics in the other person, and I'm totally okay if I don't get it. I'm totally okay being single. So universe will test you. Are you ready to compromise? If you are, you'll never get what you really want if you compromise, right? How to know if what we want is what we need, and whether what we want goes hand in hand with who we are? So I do this one exercise. I prepare, or I write my future goals with a blank canvas. It doesn't come with my past memories. Okay, so I've had troubles with relationship, so in next year I'm not going to have any relationship. No, I don't do that. You can create your future from a blank canvas. So it shouldn't come from a place of who you have been, because in the past you were not aware. In the future, in the present, you can be aware, right? So be clear. Start with a blank canvas. Okay. So thank you so much for everyone showing up here. I really enjoyed your energy, and we'll see each other in the group here and there in the posts. All right. And if you have any uh, doubts, do share it in the group. Okay. Thank you so much, everyone. Take care. Bye-bye.